Now we're gonna move into, I think next is the
Dr. Carl,
district.
we will, if we can, in the October board meeting, if we can have Don Tar to come.
Sure.
And also USA, let's present them with the, appreciation certificate also.
We'll get it.
And I also have some good news.
Oh, yes, sir.
We are representing, the Washington County High School Battalion Night, under Sergeant Major Arnold. He provided, each year the cadets provide us with these nice shirts. And they presented all the board members, and they always present all the board members, superintendent, our board clerk, and our attorneys, with t-shirts, with shirts, polo shirts. And so tonight we are representing, as you can see, our Washington County High School Panther Battalion tonight. So kudos to Sergeant Major Arnold and all that he's doing with our cadets over there. Thank you, Sergeant Major.
Okay, ready to move into, district and school improvement plans.
We have to approve the personnel report.
Oh, sorry. I am ready to roll.
Washington County Schools be led by 21st century professionals. Board need a motion to approve the personnel report.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the personnel report.
Second.
So moving and properly second, all in favor? Motion carried. Approval of the Elizabeth City State University MOU for 2020 through 2025. Dr. Carter, give us some insight on that.
With, Elizabeth City
Yes.
State University.
Yes.
That has to do with, allowing Elizabeth, City State University student teachers, to come in and do practicum hours. So that is a win-win for
Yes.
both the university and our school system. Because the likelihood is that we'll be able to recruit them better if they have been in our schools, met our staff, been a part of our school system. So, this is definitely something I recommend. I think that
Right.
it's important that we support the
Yes.
university and the university's producing our teachers, so.
Most definitely. So board, we need a motion to approve the Elizabeth City State University MOU.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the Liberty City State University MOU 2020 through 2025.
Second.
So moving and properly second, all in favor? Motion carried. If you could, board members, when we talk tonight, I know you probably don't want to talk loud, but talk as loud as you can so they can hear us, those that are tuning in listening. Approval of the Northeastern North Carolina Career Pathway Partnership MOU.
Okay, Ms. Wrighton is outside and she was going to share that with you.
Sure. Good evening, Ms. Riley. How you doing? Good.
So we are asking approval for the Washington County Schools and Northeastern North Carolina Career Pathways to enter into a partnership. This will assist and provide resources to our school system that will help us in developing a highly skilled workforce in the Northeastern North Carolina. This will assist Washington County schools and ensure that our course offerings match current labor market needs. So what they're trying to do is enter into a partnership. We've been working with them for several years, but they really want to make it official by having us sign an agreement and a memorandum of understanding.
We want to make it official too.
And with the partnership, they're asking for a liaison, and I've volunteered to be the liaison for Washington County Schools as well as Ms. Denise Harris.
Okay, so we have two liaisons working along with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's gonna be good. And you guys are already working with them, right, Ms. Riley?
Yes, they just wanted to do a MOU.
Okay, great. Great. Any discussion, board?
I need to go around.
Yeah, scroll down just a little bit more. And this is gonna be good because, I'm just looking at it, it says it's gonna, strengthen the regional local partnerships between the businesses and,
Yeah.
industry.
That was my question. Are they currently working with any local businesses right now?
Not here in, I don't think they're working with anyone here in Washington County as far as local business, but they have, connected me with Nutrient and Aurora, for our welding program.
Okay.
And they are looking at, trying to offer us, apprenticeship opportunities for our students, that enter into the welding program. So they have already gave me that connection with one, business, which is not here in Washington County, but
Right.
it's in the Northeast.
And also,
This sounds like a conversation that me and you had about local businesses, and would that kind of work with this?
It would,
Partnership.
and I agree with you that we need to expand that.
Yes.
And
we had a very good meeting the other day, Dr. Carr, myself, and Mr. Walker, along with, Don Tall, Vice President. So we have some very promising things coming in the future. Ms. Wright will be privy to that information. Dr. Carr probably shared it with. They are really excited about, they have some great things in store for Washington County. It was good to hear them talk so much about what they want to do in Washington County compared to always being given to Martin County. So we're grateful for that partnership that we have coming. And they're partnering with us right now, so it's gonna be good.
So really, would it be appropriate to address an issue that we may foresee with welding?
Sure.
Welding is gonna have to be face to face.
Okay.
We were planning to start in January,
Yeah,
and so I need to know, and it doesn't have to be tonight, but whether we wanna push it back to next school year, or we're gonna bring students on campus. I need to, get some information to
we'll
both.
actually be discussing that, tonight a little later,
Okay,
about how we're gonna maneuver the school in the future. So you'll have your answer probably tonight, right?
right, and what Ms. Wright is referring to is we're actually gonna need to provide the children transportation from the high school to the college,
Yeah,
right?
no,
That was a different conversation.
they're gonna need to come, actually be able to come on campus and not be virtual, that's what I'm saying.
it's just-
Right, but the welding that we talked about with the college, is the college professor coming to the high school?
Yes,
Okay, well, then I stand corrected. I thought that we were talking about having to carry the kids to the
no,
college.
ma'am.
Okay,
But they still will have to have, if it's paid, they will still have to travel to the school, so.
true, so they would still need bus
Still need-
transportation,
still need
but it's a little bit different and a little bit cheaper
Yeah.
than what I originally thought we were looking at.
Okay. Good enough?
But at least it's January we're discussing.
Yes, Lord. Okay. Boy, y'all got any more discussion on the North Carolina Career Pathway? Need a motion to approve this, memorandum of understanding.
I make a motion that we approve the partnership MOU.
Second.
Moved and properly second, all in favor? Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Wright. Washington County Schools will be governed and supported by 21st Century Systems. Approval of the North Carolina Driving School Incorporated Agreement.
I'm not sure if that was Mr. Stokes that was going to share that or not. It is, by understanding, it's the same MOU that you've done for years.
We gotta do that. So all we doing the drivers here right now? And we'll be, are they doing the drivers here because of the COVID?
Right, it's kind of crazy, but the agreement was that they could do the driving portion in the car. The question out there was the in-class part, and I know that there is a conversation about offering that particular piece virtual, but, the only thing that I'm aware of that's been for sure happening is the driving in the car.
Okay.
And they can only have 2 people in a car due to social distancing.
Okay. So board, we need a motion to approve, this agreement.
So moved.
So moved,
Second.
then moved and properly second, all in favor? Motion carried. Approval of fees, charges, and solicitations for 2020-21.
You want us to open those up separately? The principals are here, if you want any conversation about them. They are just standard items of, cost
We do this every year.
that you get every year.
Yeah,
Yes,
we do
sir.
it every year. So board, we need a motion to approve the, fees, charges, and solicitations.
At least the band fee won't be.
Need a motion.
I make a motion, Chairman, that we approve the charges and solicitation.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second, all in favor? Motion carried. Committee updates, Finance Committee. Schneider Electric presentation, Mr. Graham Lewis. I'm sorry, I'm talking louder, I just want.
Well, you have to, or they won't hear you.
Mr. Chair, we're gonna do the reports first, or we're gonna go straight to Snyder? Right here, we got the,
I didn't even see that, Dan, I'm sorry. We'll do him and go back to it. Yeah, I appreciate that, Dan. No, thank you.
I'll let you go and get there, I appreciate that.
How are you?
Doing well. I got it.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well,
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you as well.
You got us some money this time?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, you got us some money, we good. You got no money, keep on going.
Gonna save us some money.
Save it, you save us something, you can stay
Gonna
there.
save us a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Would y'all like me to go ahead and get started without Ms.
Yeah.
Jordan?
No, Miss, where's she at?
Okay, she was just ran to the restroom real quick.
Oh, okay. We'll wait for
I appreciate y'all letting me present tonight.
Sure. We all about saving money, and the lady coming in is too.
That's right.
She is.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick things off. So,
Okay.
to give you all a little background on what's been done so far, had lots of meetings with Mrs. Jordan and Ms. Cantrell, learning about the different financial challenges of the district as well as facility needs. And so we were able to do a utility analysis to evaluate the potential for savings for the district. And then last week, now that Dr. Carr is on board, we were able to meet with the Finance Committee, Mr. Gill, Mr. Norman, and really go through the program in depth and look at what the value is that we could bring to Washington County Schools. So my goal for today's meeting is to give y'all a quick overview about how the program works. That way we can answer any questions y'all might have before making that motion to approve moving into the RFP phase of the process. Starting off up on the top left corner, how it works, right? Really what we're doing is we're shrinking your utility bill each month, and we're also shrinking your operations and maintenance costs each month, and you're using those savings each year to pay for the project. So there's two real keys to this legislation. There's a state statute that oversees these programs for school districts. The first one is that it says guaranteed savings. If we say y'all are gonna save $150,000 a year, in 1 year you only save $100,000. We have to actually write you a check for $50,000 to cover the difference. So those savings have to be guaranteed year over year. The second one is your savings and your utility costs and your operation and maintenance costs all have to be the same. You can see there in the after as they were before. So the savings have to cover the entire cost of the project. So this is a way that school districts are able to get a lot of work done without using any money in the budget because these projects have to stand on their own and y'all aren't allowed to put any appropriations towards them. So down there on the bottom left, you can see the results of our utility analysis. You're spending about $550,000 a year between electricity, fuel oil, and water. We're projecting savings of somewhere between 23 and 28% on an annual basis, and you can see what that is annually, and then over a 15-year guarantee and a 20-year guarantee, all of our projects tend to range between 15 and 20 years, depending on what the school district decides. The real key takeaway here is that this is, most likely going to be a couple $1 million that we'd be able to bring to the school district in upfront capital that you wouldn't have any other way. That's 100% funded through guaranteed energy savings. To put that into perspective, right now you get about $300,000 a year in capital. So that's 6 to 10 years worth of capital all at once for the school district, so rather sizable chunk of change. Really, the ultimate decision for the school districts that we work with is, where do we want to spend our money over the next 15 years? Because at the end of the day, it's money you're going to spend one way or another. Either you continue sending it to the utility company, or you can capture as much savings as possible and reinvest those into the needs of the district. You can see what some of those needs are over there on the right. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see it's pretty substantial throughout the school district. I will make the note here that we're not going to be able to cover all those needs through a couple $1 million worth of savings. There's a long list of needs of the district, but what we're going to do is work with y'all to figure out what are the highest priority items and fund those ones first. So flipping over to the back, I just want to hit on a couple big highlights of how this project will help to really bring value to the district outside of just energy savings and facility improvements. The first one is the primary goal for all of our projects, which is really improving that learning environment for students. Whether that's getting rid of the flickering T12s in your classroom and going LED across the board, or helping Ms. Cantrell to get some sort of new building automation system that she can control the temperatures in the classrooms that you guys are currently having a little bit of trouble with. The second one is providing additional learning opportunities for students. We're working with several districts right now. Because this is a district-wide project that's really, really big, we're able to really work with the school district about what is the curriculum that we can tie to the project. So we do job shadowing at the high school. We also put together really customized curriculum and behavioral incentive programs for students to help them learn how to take these savings techniques back home to their families. And really the last one I wanted to mention is exciting the county commissioners down there at the end. We've talked about this in our last meeting, but this is something that commissioners tend to look really favorably upon. Y'all are able to get a significant amount of funding through the money that they're already giving y'all through your current capital expense, or current expense that you're then able to get capital funding through. So it is a big win for both the county and for the school system. Down there at the bottom, just an example of a project that we've done this year with Swain County Schools. Very similar in terms of aspects of Washington County Schools. They've got 4 schools. They're a Tier 1 county. They had a new superintendent when we started working with them. And there's just that widespread deferred maintenance that it's just difficult to get the funding to be able to cover. So we were able to partner with them. They got a couple new chillers, a couple new boilers, as well as LED lighting district-wide. Top right corner is next steps. So today, we're hoping that y'all approve the motion to move into the RFP phase of this process. One of the things that we'll be working on before we actually issue out the RFP is to go ahead and get the commissioner's verbal approval of the project. Their one role in this program is that they have to approve not to reduce your utility budget. So because your savings from your utility costs are going to be in that utility budget, they can't cut it because that's what you're using to pay for the project retroactively. And so usually that's something that we go ahead and make sure they're on board with up front before y'all spend all the time going through the process. And then hoping to get into the process in October. But happy to take any questions before moving forward.
Good. This is gonna be good. Ms. Cantrell, Ms. Jordan, y'all excited about this? Y'all don't look like y'all excited.
We got excited early on, and now we're just,
Ready to
what
make
are you
it
guys get
happen.
excited about?
I'm all with you. I'm looking at these chillers and boilers. I'm so sick of dealing with chillers and boilers, I don't know what to do.
And right now, we have one leaking,
I
so
don't even
we
wanna
do
talk
have to
about it.
replace it.
I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, so we.
At what point do we sit down and decide
What you
which
saying?
project?
Projects, cause there may be 1 or 2 on here that is not listed.
Yeah. So what happens
Just an
is,
example.
yeah, great question. So I would say we're probably going to get into the design of the project in the springtime.
Okay.
And at that point, we're sitting down with you on the front end to say, what is everything you want us to design?
Okay.
And then on the back end, we come back to the school district and say, here's the cost and savings for each of the measures. Here are the projects we can put together, and then y'all get to pick.
We definitely want, not just along with us, but we definitely want our maintenance and whatnot along with us when we do that, because they see every day what needs to, what are the high needs. you know, so I would definitely want, would they be a part of that in the spring?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I think Ms. Cantrell is gonna be your key point of contact for the whole RFP process, yeah.
And I can promise you, I've walked him through the schools already and shown him
Yeah.
a lot of what's wrong.
Okay, well, that's good, that's what we want to do. Okay, so we'll need a motion to approve this, so our county commissioners can go ahead and do their part, and we can move forward.
I make a motion that we approve the, is this called partnership or
Performance contract.
performance contract?
Second.
To move forward with the RFP.
Yeah, move forward with the
Yeah.
RFP, not the.
Okay,
contract.
All right, second.
move forward with the RFP.
All right. Been moved and properly second, all in favor? Motion carried.
Thank y'all so much, and if you have any questions as we go through, please feel free to reach out.
Appreciate it, Mr. Lewis.
Good evening. Two more action items. One is gonna be the state budget 21-20. It's not up there? You didn't have the budget amendment?
Ms. Jordan, I'm sorry.
You got
I jumped right over you, Ms. Jordan, I didn't even mean
Sorry?
to. I said I jumped right over you, I apologize.
Oh, you're fine. You said it's up there?
Then Mr. Norman will get you later on that.
It's right on the laptop.
I'm gonna have a meeting with you this morning anyway. Especially you.
Okay, I have the state budget amendment 20. Oh, this is supposed to be 2101. I'll fix that, 2101. And it's, decrease in substitute revenue slightly. We had an allotment for our K-8 literacy. This is, for our learning.com project with the state for grades K through 8. We have an EC grant that, Ms. Dixon applied for and it received it.
Great.
We have, our low wealth allocation for CARES funds. This is gonna run out in December of this year. And then we also got a small allotment for cybersecurity for, the CARES funds as well. So that's the state budget amendment that I have.
Ms. Jordan, why did we get a decrease in substitute? Do you know, was there any explanation on that?
The, hold on, I have it on a different file. Oh, this is on my computer. Yes, I can send it to you in my notes.
Okay, please do. I'm just curious about that. I would think that they wouldn't decrease the substitute funds with COVID-19.
Actually, this was our virtual public school
Okay,
increase.
okay,
And so, sometime in October, we're gonna get another round of
okay,
decreases. That's
okay,
gonna be the
okay.
charter school
all right, okay,
funding. So
Okay.
that's what this was. It was some of the numbers I had allocated and
okay,
prepared for, but this one
okay,
I didn't.
okay.
So that's what that is. So, that's the only budget amendment I have.
Okay, so, we need a motion to approve, this is state amendment 2001?
It's really 2101.
Okay, 2101, okay.
The chair make a motion that we approve the state budget amendment 2101.
Second.
Moved and properly second, all in favor? Motion carries.
And then the other action item I have for this evening is the, STIF fund account to move the 500,000 from the, capital management to a STIF account. And the STIF account is like a regular savings, so I don't have a term agreement with them. And the interest rates are much better. So in the folder I put, this is the one we have right now is the government portfolio. And we also have a term portfolio. And so for the past year, this was the interest rates comparable to the STIF account that I wanna do. So they've been holding steady at a higher interest rate. So it's just a little bit to help on our investment right now until the other portfolios can start doing a little bit better. And so that request is to move 500,000 from the government portfolio or the term portfolio, a combination of both, into the STIF account. And I would still leave the other 500,000 in the, with capital management.
So board, we need a motion to approve $500,000 into a STIF account from the capital management trust.
Where's the STIF account at?
It's with the state.
State?
This is the state,
It's-
treasurer's.
Yeah, the state
Fine.
treasurer, yeah, they got the.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the movement of the 500,000 into a STIF account from capital management trust.
Second.
Moved and properly second, all in favor? May move.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. Oh. Thank you, Ms. Stewart.
You're welcome.
That's what I'm talking about. Washington County Schools Comprehensive Plan Presentations. Time of district. Dr. Carter.
Okay, if you don't mind asking the principals, to go ahead and step in, so that they can hear the district is, even though they have them, and we'll go over it again and again, it just never hurts to hear it all. And then we can roll right through theirs.
Drop your clip.
Slides, they're gonna go quick.
Okay.
I got that too, but I think it's been corrected.
Okay.
All right, so, welcome our team administrators. We're gonna start with the district plan, and then each administrator will step forward and go over their school's plan. Of course, Washington County Schools, vision and mission remains the same. Washington County Schools will provide experiences that prepare students to be college and career ready. Educate, graduate. Washington County Schools is ready. And the vision is educating students and enable them to reach their full potential. I don't know why that did that, but I'll keep my finger over here. So our district goals are by the end of 2021 that 100% of our schools will either meet or exceed their growth. And that 100% of the schools in Washington County Schools will continuously examine school improvement strategies, modify or discontinue practices as the data and evidence suggest. So we have three indicators that we have targeted as priority. B10, the district proactively supports and emphasizes student-centered instruction, seeking solutions to remove barriers, including those related to policies, practices, and traditions. So we need to look at some of our policies that may need to be updated or changed. We're going to continue to look at accountability. We are currently, and our parents are aware of this already, we are doing progress monitoring even during remote learning. Embracing MTSS with our action steps. We have already had a compliance officer join our EC department, look over our overall grading practices and have conversations with our teachers about what we need to do with those. Examine and define our instructional coaches and their role. Teachers will use data trackers, and that would be per subject and school. And they're using student data to drive the instruction. And look at overall staff configurations and seat time requirements. And professional development, and that will be school-based as well as district-based, and it would be differentiated based on what teachers are asking for and what they need. The second priority goal for the district is CO5, and that does encompass professional development. And that is having the school do the schedule based on what the school needs and allow the school to have discretion in selecting their training and finding what fits for them and their grade level and what their teachers are asking for. We're having monthly principal meetings. We have joined NSA ASBO with financial literacy as a county, so that will allow our bookkeepers as well as central office staff to attend trainings, and that's because we're at a district level now. Continue our PD and scheduling with our ECU instructional coaches, Wolfpack Works, and then all of the platforms that we have embraced as a county. And these are things that a lot of the administrators have already had taken place on their campuses already this year, including Imagine Learning, HMH. Of course, we have to have regular updates with testing, Power School, NESIS, and we become a resurgence of getting back on our webpage with webmaster trainings. Of course, the administrators will tell you our best PD is one-on-one coaching, and that is oftentimes between a mentor and a mentee. We've also asked for state funding and received that through a grant with learning.com, and so we're going to need to do some PD with that. We also had discovered in our remote learning times that substitutes also need PD on dealing with having to teach with the technology, so that's been something new. We've also had conversations at central office that PD also must take place for our classified staff. We need to go over our link system with Timekeeper, continue to push email and Google Access and use of the Microsoft products, and not just because of a pandemic, but we all need to concentrate on health PD. Our last district-wide priority goal was E03, and that has to do with two-way communication. There just can't be a lack of communication, especially during this time when we're not face-to-face every day. So we need to ramp up all of our communication channels, transparent, and have feedback back and forth. And that can be through any means available to us. Some that we cited were our website, Facebook, radio, newspaper, the Remind app, utilizing phone messaging, and obviously our back-to-school guide. We would ask that our parents continue to notify schools if they have address changes or phone number changes, that is really critical to getting information. We will embrace community meetings and look forward to that opportunity when it is safe to do so. And then we want your participation. We want parents in our schools. The whole Here Comes the Bus software, and then we're looking forward to getting your survey data back and participation with meals, continuing that at our sites, as well as going into home delivery. The Home-to-Home Connect that was so successful in the spring, that really took place on the central services level last year. The schools have embraced and have their own teams working at the school level to take care of technology needs. And we move on to Cresswell. Or if you want me to roll, I can roll, whichever works for you.
Go ahead, you can roll. Hi, everybody. Feel free.
Well, she's gonna,
She gonna talk, but she gonna.
I'm just gonna keep my fingers still so I stay on the right thing.
Want me to stand over here?
Sure.
I don't know where you need me. So Cresswell is looking at improving their academic growth, and we had different touch points from, obviously there's no data last year, so we had to go for the year before. So this is what we're hoping that Cresswell is gonna be able to do for our math and our ELA and science. And then we're looking at the instructional teams for student learning for the data, to take that and make that happen on a daily basis, and that we're making sure that no children are left behind. I know it's kind of a cliche, but we really have to make sure that we do not have any kids that are falling through the cracks. So the way to do that is through our data-driven instruction. And then one of our other goals was to directly align professional development with the classroom observations and the peer observations, so that teachers are getting what they need, not what we think they want. So oftentimes the teachers have very specific needs and we may not be able to dig those out because we're too busy doing collaborative PD, and now we need to make it targeted for them. And then opportunities for the teachers to share their strengths with the other teachers. A lot of times Pines and Cresswell have collaborated over the years, and this is another thing to make it happen. So we're working on, make the dream a reality so that they get to, hopefully, we're looking for a B at least this year. And trying to get to that through sharing and understanding what other people are doing and use and abuse all the things we can.
Hines.
Good job, Mr. Long.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. For Pines, we looked at also growth, and our first goal is to make sure all our students grow this year, that all of them get growth. We looked at the school performance score from the year before. It was a 43, so we're looking at least getting that to 50%. For the overall academic growth, it was at 59, which we didn't meet growth, so we're looking at least 70. We're doing the math. If we get a 75 or better, with the 50 plus, that would put us at a C school and exceeding, 85 would be exceeding growth, but definitely at meeting growth and a C. So that's our goal, that's where you're trying to get to. Our school improvement team chose these indicators from NC Star, A308, which is using online programs to get student data with. Imagine Learning, iStation, and SchoolNet, and Savvis. These are programs that we will use for our data information for our students. B303, principal monitor curriculum and classroom regularly. That's when I do my walkthroughs weekly, giving feedback to the teachers weekly, and then also doing the teacher's observation through NESAs. Third one is C201. School will regularly look at school performance data. With that data, we're going to look at what improvement needs to be happening, whether it's for the students, whether it's for the teacher, what kind of development we need. And with that, we'll be looking at providing differentiated professional development for the different teachers, and providing, we have coaches now and mentors to help the new teachers that we have. And the last one is E106. That's school record communicating with the parents and guardians with expectations and the curriculum that we're using at school. Teachers are using Class Dojo, we use School Messenger, Remind, Parent Portal. These are the things that we're using to try to make contact with our parents and in the community to keep them abreast of what's going on and make sure that we're all on the same page.
Washington Middle.
Good evening. Washington County Middle School focus goals. Washington County Middle School will increase their overall performance level from 51% to 57% based on EOG state tests. Washington County Middle School will train 100% of the certified and classified staff with professional development to support remote learning for all staff. So we chose 4 goals from NC Star. The first one is all teachers employ effective classroom management and reinforce classroom rules and procedures by positively teaching them. One of the bullet points is establishing clear rules and procedures for behavior, identifying rules and procedures for virtual and face-to-face, involve students in developing rules and procedures, establishing clear learning goals, building positive relationships with students, and modeling expected behavior for students. B201, school culture promotes and supports the physical, social, emotional, and behavioral health of all school personnel. We're going to implement a plus delta, and this is just letting me know things that are going well at school and things that we need to improve on. Daily, we're doing like debriefing meetings after school to make sure that we create a culture of collaboration. We're going to create at least 2 surveys per week. And just mind you that when you do school improvement When you do plans that is continuous, which means we can change, so some of that may change based on, whether our students come back to school. And I'm looking at like the two, a lot of things will change, and we'll go back in there and make the changes as needed. Design activities for staff mental and physical well-being. A lot of times our focus, to me, the focus is children, but this is for our adults, so that we can build their side, because we go through a lot too. So activities will be done during faculty meeting to promote that. Promote the use of employees assistance program that goes hand in hand with what we're doing. Give opportunities for staff to share concerns and ask questions in staff meeting. Non-threatening. C-102, the principal plans opportunities for teachers to share their strengths with other teachers. This is one of my favorite ones. Teachers model lessons and POCs in faculty meetings. We would do learning walks, and with the learning walks, there are certain things that we'll look for, teachers will look for. Mentors will meet with the mentee 1 to 2 times per week. Teachers will lead professional development monthly, sharing research-based strategies. And some of the pieces that will go with that will be differentiation, test-taking strategies, and scaffolding. All teachers use online, hybrid, or blended learning as part of a larger pedagogical approach that combines the effective socialization opportunities within the classroom with the enhanced learning opportunities available in online instruction. And that's what we're gonna do a lot of professional development on, making sure that the teachers are comfortable with remote learning and whatever they need to support the remote learning, that's our goal. But we look at some of the programs, we have a Google Suite program, the Reminder 101, and all this, even going back to that socialization piece with students and building those positive relationships. At the beginning of the last 2 weeks, our goal has been to build those relationships. So we do that with those discussion boards, and you'd be surprised at what Padlet does with students and building those relationships with teachers. And enhancing socialization in a blended remote learning plan. And those are our 4 goals that we'll be working on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Early college.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We'd like to start out and share some of our goals that we have, our focus goals that we have this year. And number 1 has to deal with professional development for our teachers that support virtual instruction. We've adopted the phrase this year that everybody's a first-year teacher because we're all learning virtual as we go. So we're supporting our teachers by implementing tools that they can use in their classroom virtual with all their students. Thinking Maps is the primary one we're using. You'll hear more about that a little bit later. We also have tutor.com, the Princeton Review will be embedded in those also, and the teachers actually use those to supplement their learning. Our goal this year, we've set a goal of 75% proficiency on all EOCs. I've heard a saying, and that's something I believe on, no one rises low expectations. We're shooting for an A. We hope to get it. We're gonna go for it, and if we fall short and hit a B, we'll do better next year. But we're going for the A, even with virtual learning going on right now. That's our goal. And the next one has to do with recruitment and retention of students. We've set a goal of 30 for rising 9th grade students and an overall school enrollment to be at 100 for next year. There is some financial incentives from the state if we can hit that 100 number. So that's one of our major goals this year is recruitment of new students. Our first goal talks about the mindset for learning, and it talks about what teachers will be doing, using blended various instructional techniques to facilitate remote learning. Thinking Maps is the training. We'll have 7 Thinking Map training sessions this year. On the 16th, when we have our remote learning day, that's our next one. They actually remote in and work with their teachers one-on-one with that. And we're talking about what it means to the students. What will happen to the students in this, and how can we measure that? We measure that through what our students are doing. And we're making sure that the teachers are providing feedback that is not just feedback, but it's meaningful to them, to the individual child, not to the whole group. So we're focusing on individualized feedback this year. Our second goal is has to do with online, hybrid, and blended learning. That is an area that we do need to grow in. And we're looking at what it looks like for students in this one. The second bullet point is the hardest one that we see: personalized learning tailored for each student's strengths, needs, and interests. That is as close as we can get to one-on-one teaching that we can for our students and making sure they have what they need. You know, we talk about every kid wins, what I need. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure they have what they have. And we're also gonna get buy-in from them on their stakeholders. With this, the Princeton review, if a student wants to go further than where we're going, if they have that energy to want to do more, we can take them as far as they want to go. If they need remedial help, they can get remedial help. And if they can't get it online, then we have a second program where they have face-to-face. So it has to go with their buy-in, what they want to do. And our third goal has to deal with communications. That's an area we need to make sure we improve upon. We've put a lot of effort into our webpage. If you've had a chance to go visit, we have a little bit of good news. We've been tracking the webpage, and August has the highest number of visits for the early college that it's had in the past year. So we're putting new information out there, and people are going into it and looking at it. Also, we send out the weekly phone calls and emails for everyone. And the first semester focus is on our seniors. Seniors always have the opportunity to apply for colleges, financial aid. All that hits really hard in the first semester. So we're making sure that the seniors get the information they need so they don't miss out on any opportunities, because you can't show up late for financial aid. And the last one is we're recreating the informational products that the early colleges has for recruitment, creating new brochures, pamphlets, and things that we take out, and trying to bring them up to date a little bit and a little more interactive. And that's our 3 goals for the early college.
All right, Washington High.
Okay, in reviewing our report card data, we wanted to focus on the ACT. Ultimately, we're already focusing on the core, but we want to increase the proficiency for the ACT and also increase the work keys proficiency as well, with the number of students that actually become completers. We're looking at A 4.6, focusing on the students as they're transitioning through each grade level. This is one that we started last year, but was unsuccessful in completing. So we want to revisit and go ahead and get this one completed, such as organizing a bridge week for our freshmen, also introducing our students to college courses, helping them become more prepared for that. They're taking college courses but struggle a little with how to advocate for themselves and how to actually submit work on time. So actually having that scheduled beforehand to help them with that, and also facilitate grade level seminars and focusing on the 8th graders transition plan, which help identify the career paths that they want to take when they get into the high school. C201, regularly looking at the school performance data. This, of course, will help with the core. Completing observation using the 19 indicators, organizing teacher-specific PD, using the walkthrough data and observations for target PD, and celebrating teacher success. A lot of times we'll often tell the teachers what they need to do differently, but we're not celebrating the small steps that they take. So making sure that we're constantly keeping them motivated so that they can take care of our babies. And E106, the school regularly communicates with parents. Oftentimes we're communicating negative concerns, and it's for teachers calling, so possibly getting one person to contact parents and then having them share the contact information for the teachers so that they can reach out to the teachers themselves. Also curriculum night, we use Remind 101. We also have a parent night out each semester. We do the weekly all calls, social media, and we're going to also continue to promote Power School and Parent Portal. And all teachers receive initial and ongoing training to support effective use of blended learning. Of course, this is a target that we all need with us going to remote. So we have the ECU coaches as well as our instructional coach that will be providing support. Right now, at least once or twice a month. I and Ms. Skinner, the administrators in the building, lead PD to help support the teachers. So we're learning with them, but we're also gonna use the NESA system to put them through, a training for blended learning that is there in NESA. And that's it.
And then, board, this is a list of district-wide priorities, but how it looks like, if you follow a color across, you'll see that their priority goals, even though they have more than the 3 or 4, we just ask them to specify what are your 3 or 4 main things. You can see a lot of similarities across the schools in the district. And anybody in the general public that wants to look at their comprehensive plans, they are posted on the website, and they're InduStar, how you log in to see the entire plan is listed there. But we just wanted to hit some highlights and go over our big picture ideas of where our focus and vision is.
I like the, I enjoy the plans. Our administrators appreciate all you're doing, to make this thing go. I can speak for, my little girl attends Washington County Middle School. I know Ms. Stokes hit on the stress issue, but I can't tell the teachers under stress because they are doing a superb job with teaching, and I hear it. And they are, how they responded to the kids, and the kids are loving it, and they're responding back. So they're doing a great job, and I just think you're doing an excellent job. You're using what you got to get where you got to get to, and you guys are doing an amazing job. And the only thing that I did see tonight, Dr. Carter, I didn't see, I heard from Washington County High School, and I heard from other schools about celebrations. I would like something in the district plan with district celebrations,
Okay.
and celebrating our people when they do well in their buildings. Because at this point in the game, the mental health issue that we're gonna deal with, we need to be appreciating staff more now than ever with all that's going on right now. Our kids are doing an excellent job, but do our staff know that they're doing a superb job with how they're handling instruction? So I would like to see that on the district plan. And I would like it to be one of our main points this year, to focus on celebrating our staff and our buildings for working so hard to keep the ball rolling for our students. And I think everybody would agree with that.
Yes.
You know, I really believe that. Their emotional health or personal, we need to celebrate our people this year more than we ever have. Because we don't know from day to day who's gonna contract it, who's gonna get this stuff, who's gonna be with us next week, the week after, we don't know. So let's celebrate people and let them know how important they are to us now. We don't want them to get down and out, but we can. So that's just my little 2 bits.
Well, we can get it
Everything
in
look
there.
good.
And principals, we have a principals meeting on Monday, so just be thinking about what you would like to see and what you think would be motivating.
Yeah.
And we appreciate all
Yeah.
that you do, because y'all do a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I can't sleep at night, and I know y'all can't either.
Just kidding.
I sleep all day.
But you're doing a good job. I just want to just.
Y'all doing a good job. Thank
Yeah,
you.
everybody, even on the district level, Dr. Carter, we're not excluding you guys, but our principals are at it every day. You know, and that's what, like Mr. Walker said, that's where the rubber meets the road. You guys are making it happen. You know, we appreciate that. Okay? See you. I see you smiling behind your mask.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I didn't hear you say you welcome.
Thank you.
I do want to bring out one point, and it can be said in open session. Teachers, if there is a student that's, Dr. Carter, that internet is lagging, don't count them absent,
Right.
because it's lagging. Sometimes they don't, I've experienced this, I'm speaking from someone that's on the system, in the system, looking in, I experienced this and I handled it.
Right.
But for somebody else that can't, like we heard previous in the hearing, some parents can't speak for their children. And when your internet is lagging, we're not taking it as a student isn't there. Sometimes
Right.
it just can't, it's not coming on at the right time.
My internet has been terrible.
Mine has been
The
bad.
last month. I mean,
And so
it
it's,
buffers.
yeah, it's
constantly.
buffer. So if a teacher says, Miss, Linda, are you on?
Right,
And you saying, and then their yes might be not now, they might get it in a
Right.
few minutes. Because it's lagging, don't mark them absent.
right, and
I've
they're,
experienced that, and I called the school and I got
Right.
it straight.
and
I
they're
know mine
supposed
is
to
on.
have 5 days to view the video or
That's right.
submit the assignment.
That's right.
And that's another thing that's gonna help us with buses going out. If a child or a parent needs help getting that work back, if they're in a paper packet. But
Yes.
if they are having internet trouble, having the 5 days gives them time to look at the video and then submit the assignment.
Yes.
And then the state has given us some flexibility
That's good.
in being able to go back and, along a 5-day period.
Okay, good.
So,
That's good to know.
you know, we've all had to be a little more
Yeah,
flexible.
yeah.
One day, everybody on that was.
It was, and we had to send out an announcement,
As soon as I heard it, I
Right.
alerted the
cause it was the whole
It was the
county
whole-
that was
It was all
down.
over North Carolina.
Yeah.
It was,
It was,
my understanding was, it happened in Rocky Mountain.
yeah, but it was all in
They covered
Greensboro.
Rocky
Come from Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, and they said that they've never had that many, people are using Fridays as their virtual days. And so they never had that many people to log in into all internet at one point.
And everybody
At one time,
probably
everybody
live
hit it
streaming
at
and
one time, with live
videos
streaming and
and-
video on them, and it just, completely
Right.
just overwhelmed the system. But anyway, we're gonna work through it, Washington County, we're gonna be Washington County strong.
But the problem is, I talked to, Central Link, the problem is, in my area, especially in my area, they don't have the, fiber optic cables. And that's what, hurting us down my way. I don't know when we're gonna get it, but, the guy said if you get it, it'd be better, 5 times better than what we have now.
Yeah. A lot of upgrade, 5G, it's way good, but anyway. Superintendent's report. Margaret, you good?
I think I've given all the reports I have except, I don't know when you want me to talk about the Elevate K-12.
Oh, you was gonna talk about that.
Okay, it's an option, when we don't have a, teacher, that we can actually contract with this company, and they, if we contract with the company, we can do it either for, a set period of time, like if we know we have a long FMLA period that we need to cover, or that we need a semester of a teacher, or we need, a whole year of a teacher. And, specifically, I'll tell you, my thoughts are, right now, we do not have an 8th grade science teacher, and science is a tested area, and we need to make sure we have prepared them in the middle school to go forward into the high school,
That's right.
and that they're ready. But if we decide to contract with this company, we can hire a certified teacher to, serve those children. Now, we do have to have a facilitator in the room. But like, for instance, at the middle school, we already have a facilitator that could, support the children when they come back face to face. And in the meantime, if we, contracted with this company to provide a certified teacher, it's $30,000 to contract with them for the year for one teacher. But it is a certified teacher, and they are teaching, live lessons. They do have access to look at every child's computer, and, they're getting individual responses from each child. So it's as close to being in person, real live, as you can get without having that person physically in front of you.
Do you recommend this, Dr. Carter?
Miss Cherry and I both,
If we go back face to face, will that teacher be here face to face?
no,
or
sir.
will it be
The
all
teacher may be
virtual?
in another state,
Okay,
but it would require a facilitator
in the room.
in the room
Okay.
with the children, but they would be being taught
Just
by
like
a
we do
certified
both- we
teacher.
do
Right,
both for
but would
county.
this be a state-supported position, cause we have that
Yes,
position open?
Because
So-
they're certified and they're
So
licensed.
we will get pay
Correct.
for the state, to
Correct.
pay for the, okay.
Correct, and we have that position available.
Right, okay.
I'm okay with it.
I'm all right with that.
But I have a, you know, I guess a paper for you to look at, but, that's my recommendation. We are very impressed with it, but it's also a good way to try out the company.
Okay.
And
And you're
It's-
locked in,
you are locked in for the time period you commit to. So
You
like,
commit
we could say we wanted it for the semester and then, do it for the year. My suggestion is that we go with eighth grade science and that we contract with them for the year. And, it is aligned with national and state, so they are looking at standard course of study and they're looking at, the objectives that are supposed to be covered in that grade level. And they do have a wide variety of things they offer. It starts in third grade and goes all the way up through 12th grade with some of their different offerings, but my suggestion is that we just do that one position, because we cannot find a science teacher right now.
That's not the position Mr. Franco got.
She would be 7th grade.
She's 7.
She's with 7th grade.
Talk about, I mean,
No, I'm talking, I just want to know.
Right, right. No, ma'am, that's not the same position.
Anything to help our kids, we need to go for it.
my question is, are you gonna be actively still searching for a teacher for this year, or are you gonna wait to start advertising for that position next year, at the end of the school year? I'd hate to know that we've got advertised and then we're locked in for a full year if we find somebody that can come, you know, here. That's the only thing.
I'll be glad to, and Ms. Cherry and I can reach back out to the company to see if we found someone, would we be locked in for the year? We've already received, just from one university, their anticipated fall graduations, and that was only from East Carolina that we received that information. We would welcome it from any university around us, but they had no one in secondary or middle school science. They have a lot of elementary graduates, but
Yeah,
that was about it.
because it's a teacher, position, Dr. Carr, I'm like Mr. Phillips, I check with the company first.
And see if we could get out of it if we found someone.
or if you can keep the same person from semester to semester.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
ca-
you
in
would
ca-
keep the same
In case we
teacher.
found somebody, you know, next
Yeah.
semester that could
Mhm.
come,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't be locked in.
Yeah, so check with them, and
Okay.
because it's a teacher position, you don't have to come back unless we go
Okay.
ahead and proceed with
Well, we were,
the teacher.
excited about the possibility of being able to
Yeah.
secure a certified teacher
We're
for
gonna
them.
virtual right now
Absolutely.
anyway.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, the kids are gonna adapt to it fine.
okay,
oh, yeah.
we can move forward with it if you
Okay,
see.
but that was, that and, the SRO was the other conversation, but I don't know when you want to have that.
Do they go back in closed session?
I'm not sure what the,
Yes.
I saw the agreement, but I'm not sure.
To have the conversation about, how many SROs do we need to support our children.
I'd recommend that discussion happen in closed.
Okay. So that was it for what I needed to bring up.
So, board, we need a motion to, recess back into closed session, and would like for, our constituents to know in the community that there will be action taken when we return back into closed session this evening.
Back into it.
Back into open session this evening.
And that's in reference to returning face-to-face or remaining remote.
Yes. And with the SROs.
Okay.
Okay? So, board, we need a motion.
Go back.
Recess back into closed session.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and properly second, all in favor?
Oh, Lord.
You ready to run?
Scared.
Okay.